Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, if you're new here, I'm old nerd. I'm just an old fellow who likes the pop culture of his childhood. And on this channel, I go over a lot of comic books, science fiction, and fantasy novels, and physical media movies, specifically Blu-rays, DVDs, that sort of thing. But today, this is a Whatnot haul, and I'm new to Whatnot, so I found a seller on there that was selling sci-fi and fantasy, and this is what I got from him. But before I start, let me have a little bit of this Americano in my Donald Duck mug to get the old creative juices flowing. Let's go through these, and I'll tell you how much they cost me and show you what kind of condition they're in. The first one, Nightmare, Piers Anthony book. This is a Xanth novel. I have a couple of Xanth novels in these sci-fi fantasy book club editions. So whenever I find them, I try and pick them up. And this one was in really nice shape. And I believe he wanted He wanted $6 for this. And this thing is like brand new. Doesn't look like it's been read. The pages don't feel like they've ever been flipped through, but maybe it was read and put away. Read once and put away, or maybe the person belonged to the sci-fi fantasy book club and they sent this to him and he just stuck it on his shelf and never touched it again. Either way, it's very nice condition. So that one I'm excited to put with my others in my library. Next, Oath of the Renunciates. This is a Marion Zimmer Bradley book. I believe this is, judging by the size, I'm guessing that this is several novels collected into one, but I do not know. I've never read any Marion Zimmer Bradley, but the book was in really nice condition. He wanted, only $7 for it. And again, all the books that I got seem like they've hardly been touched. Like it's got some, what do they call that, foxing there. But the dust jacket's in really nice shape, other than it looks like, I don't know what happened there. Something slid across it that was rough, maybe. It's got some scuffs, but it's in really nice condition. Again, doesn't look like it's been read. For $7, I'll take it. Anytime I go to a Goodwill, a secondhand store, a flea market, a garage sale, a yard sale, estate sale, I'm always looking for books, specifically sci-fi and fantasy, or comic books, or CDs, DVDs, that kind of thing, laser discs. That's the kind of stuff I like. So I have way more books than I will probably ever read in my life, but I just love them. And so when I find a good deal on them, or if I find them in good shape, I generally pick them up. And while this wasn't the best deal in the world for some of these, still a pretty good deal for the condition that they're in. So this is Ox, also by Piers Anthony. This one was a $7 book, another book club edition with a dust jacket. But this has a really cool Richard Corbin cover painting, wraparound cover. Richard Corbin. I have not read this, but this, it's got some water damage there. There's some water damage. It must have gotten dipped in something like a cracker or something. But still in really good shape. All these hardcovers feel like they got bought by someone and put away and never touched. Then we have Omnivore. This was another $7 one. So there's Piers Anthony. I guess this must be about his second novel. This came out in 1967, I believe. 1968 maybe. I don't know what you call it when the pages are rough around the edges like that, but it's pretty cool. But this one's from the late 60s and really great condition. A little something happened there. Got stained somehow. Really nice shape for $7. Let's see here. We're going to jump to a paperback quick because I'm just going in order of the invoice here. Special Deliverance by Clifford Simak. Clifford Simak, I haven't read anything by him. I think I have several of his books in my collection. This one was in really nice shape. That's why I picked it up. It doesn't look like it's ever been read. A Bookshop, Aurora, Colorado. That's a pretty old stamp, $1.35. So this was probably used, and it does have a crease down through here from being red, but the spine doesn't have a crease on it. So just right there, really nice shape. This one was $2. And like I said, I don't know a lot about Clifford Samac, but that's the kind of cover that I love. I love the old sci-fi fantasy book cover paintings, and this is classic right here, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, since it was in good shape and not very expensive, that's why I picked that bad boy up. What's next? Rogue Ship, A.E. Van Vogt. A.E. Van Vogt is one of the OG sci-fi writers in the early pulp era. He was a big influence on Philip K. Dick, or so I read or heard in an interview maybe. And the interview wasn't with Philip K. Dick himself. It was, I believe, with like maybe Philip K. Dick historian or something, and they claimed that A.E. Van Vogt was a big influence on Philip K. Dick. And since I like Philip K. Dick, I decided I'd get some of these books by A.E. Van Vogt. And I have a few now. And this one was in really nice shape. It's a book club edition. Again, from the late 60s, but really nice condition. So I picked that up, and what was this one? This one was $10. Next is The Fall of Colossus by D.F. Jones. Do not know anything about the author or this book, but it looked cool. And it's another book club edition. Good shape. I'm going to guess it's from the early 80s, maybe? Let's see if it'll tell us. Oh, no, this is from 1974. This is just as old as I am. It's in really nice shape. Don't know anything about it, but it'll look nice on the shelf, and maybe one of these days I'll get around to reading it and discover a real gem. The Overman Culture by Edmund Cooper. This was a $6 book. Again, another book club edition. Don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about the author. A new science fiction novel by the author of A Far Sunset. That's a great cover painting, though. That reminds me of Roger Dean, the artist who did all the cool classic Yes album covers. Kind of reminds me of his style. These are the colors he would use for sure. But yeah, it's a really cool painting. It's too bad it's only, cropped down to that size. It's a good looking painting with a lot of small figures in it, so it'd be good to see it bigger. But it's still cool. Book cover design. Like, that's one of the reasons I like old stuff is I don't like new books. I go into Barnes & Noble now, and it's just kind of disappointing because all the new book covers kind of are blah. And the last hardcover that I have is The Persistence of Vision. This is by John Varley. Again, an author I've heard of, and I have several of his books, but I've never read any of them. Quantum science fiction. I don't know. Is this a UK company? The Dial Press, James Wade. I don't know. But this, again, in very nice condition. Very nice shape. Got some, what do you call it, foxing across the top, maybe. But, yeah, it just looked like it was bought and put away. All right, now the last few books are all paperback. And the first one is The Riddle Master of Head. This is by Patricia McKillop. Never heard of her. But this is the exact kind of fantasy cover painting that I love. You got a wizard, or a wizard-looking guy anyway, a castle, a king. This is the kind of stuff I love. Now, this one isn't in great shape. This one's had a rough life. But it's still intact. And they wanted $4 for this one. But the cover looked great. I'd never heard of Patricia McKillop. I don't think I have anything else by her in my library. But this will be a nice addition because this is the kind of stuff I just like to pull off the shelf and look at the cover of and then read the back of and then maybe check out some of it and then put it back and go to the next one. But that was just kind of a cool looking book cover. Reason I got that one. This one as well, The Road Home. This is Joel Rosenberg. I might have some other Joel Rosenberg novels. I'm not sure. The long-awaited new novel in the best-selling series Guardian of the Flame. So apparently he's written more books than just this. Best-selling author of The Road to Evanor. This is a cool cover. Your dragon and your warriors. So that's the kind of thing I like. Got the nice, I forget what you call it when the lettering is raised like that. And chrome, like gold chrome type. If this was a comic book, they'd call it a foil cover. But yeah, the lettering is raised, which is really cool. That's the kind of thing I like. And that one was $3. And this one, The Seer King. See, this is not exactly the greatest cover, I would say, but it still looks cool. The design, the gold, the simple, crown and serpent, and the lettering. Even though this is getting a little bit more modern than I like as far as my book covers go, I still like this one, and that's why I bought it, because of the cover. Really, it looked cool. It sounded cool. I never heard of Chris Bunch, but apparently he's written a few other books. He's co-author of the Anteros trilogy, and I don't know what that is, but he's obviously been writing. And this is a thick one. This is epic length, but this was only $2, and it's in really nice shape. Then we have The Seven Altars of Dusara. Now, what's funny about this one is that earlier today, before I made this video, I was listening to another YouTuber who's an author, and he's written some sci-fi fantasy, and his name is Brian Lee Durfee, and he's doing a challenge where he's reading a book a day for a month, and this was one of the ones he just did. I just listened to his video this morning on this very book. He has a different cover art. His version has different cover art though, but I guess this is part of a series, The Seven Altars of Dusara. The first of the series is called The Lure of the Basilisk, and I have that one. But this is the second book. But apparently there's another one after this. But this was in pretty nice shape. And I have a few other Lawrence Watt Evans books. Again, haven't read him, but it looks fun, and that's a great cover painting. And then last but not least, and that book was $3. And this final book, The Sword and the Chain, by Joel Rosenberg. So what was the other one I got? So The Road Home was also Joel Rosenberg. So there's two Joel Rosenbergs. I wonder if these two are together in like a little lot. Can't remember. Book 2, The Guardians of the Flame, which that other one said on the cover that the author was the author of. That sounded stupid. Anyway, yeah, this one just was by the same author. That's probably why I picked this one up. So got some adhesive here. I bet it's coming off. Gently get that off of there. Not in perfect condition, but not in bad condition. Oops, it's got a tear there and some writing. It's been read. Monahan's Paperback Exchange, Tacoma, Washington. It's cool. See how far books travel, isn't it? Where they've been in a library someplace, been in a couple used bookstores all across the country or around the world. It's pretty neat when you find stuff like that. But yeah, this one's traveled all the way across the country to me here in Pennsylvania. But yeah, that's all the books I grabbed from Whatnot. This I can't even remember the name of the seller. Okay, Dark Numenorian 410. That was the name of the seller on Whatnot that I got all these books from. Yeah. And what I like about Whatnot, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video or not, but I'll say it again. If I did, I apologize. But what I like about Whatnot is you can get a bunch of things and then, save on shipping, which is kind of what I did with eBay. Like prior to finding Whatnot, I would be on eBay and I'd go to users' stores and try and find a user that combined shipping, and you could go in their store and select a bunch, so you'd save on shipping. Kind of the same idea as spending whatever you got to spend on your Amazon order to get free shipping. It's kind of the same idea, but it works really better with Whatnot, because especially if they've got a bunch of stuff that you're interested in, and you can just keep, as the auctions come up, you just can bid on them, and they just keep getting added to your shipping container, basically. So and it adjusts the shipping cost as you go. It's kind of keeping track of your shipping costs as you go. So Whatnot's pretty cool. I don't recommend it. You'll run out of money real fast if you're not careful on Whatnot, because it's kind of dangerous that way. But like I said, I just started with it, so I bought some comics from a seller or two, and then I found this bookseller and bought these books from him. It was kind of just like a tryout thing to see how Whatnot worked, and it works very well. Yeah, that's my sci-fi fantasy Whatnot haul. If anybody else out there hasn't tried Whatnot yet, comment down below. Or if you have tried it, comment down below as well. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe. I do a series on this channel where I read my Marvel Comics collection in order. I started back in 1974ish with some early Captain Americas that were in my collection. I'm reading them in publishing date order and doing a video on each issue that I read from my Marvel Comics collection. I've just gotten into 1977 at this point, so if that sounds cool, please subscribe. If you know anybody else that likes this kind of video, please share it with them, and drop me a like, comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.